Hey guys, today's workout is with resistance bands and I'm using the red one. It's the lightest one, but as stronger you are, as heavier band you should be using. We will start with a dynamic warm-up and our first exercise is overhead rotations. We'll do 10 of them. Make sure that your elbows are straight, pull on that band a little bit as you transfer it above your head and keep your lower back nice and straight. I don't want any arching or pushing your hips forward. You'll do 10 of them and then you changed into good mornings. With the good mornings, we're trying to mobilize our hips. So you keep your knees nice and stiff. You can bend them a little bit if you are short in your hamstrings like I am. My hamstrings are really stiff. And then you just hinge from your hips and squeeze your glutes on the way up. Push your hips forward, but don't bend through your lower back. So you keep your back nice and straight. And you should feel those glutes firing after a few reps. Your next exercise, I don't know the correct name, I call it the twister. You're pretty much bending your knee and twisting your thoracic spine and bringing your elbows to your opposite knee. You do overhead squats, 10 of them. Make sure that your arms are behind your ears, so they're not in front of your head, they're behind your head or like next to your head. And same as with the good mornings, when you come up, squeeze your glutes, tuck your hips under, but keep those hips behind you. And when you finish those, then you go to the resisted hip bridges. So you lie down on the ground, put the band on your hips, and then just lift your hips up and push against the band. If this is too hard, you can do it without the band, but if you're strong enough, do it with the band for that extra resistance. Make sure you keep your pelvic floor slightly lifted as you do this exercise and breathe. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you push. You'll do 10 of them and then you do the exact same exercise on a single leg, 10 on each side. This is gonna be a little bit harder. So once again, if you can't lift your hips up against the band, just do this exercise without the band. And that should get your glutes ready and firing for the upcoming session. Good, so just take your time with this exercise as well and focus on engaging your hips and feel it in your glutes. Make sure your knee is not caving in on that leg that's on the floor. It needs to be aligned and your hips need to be aligned as well. What can happen often that your hips kind of dip to the side and one hip is higher and the other one is lower. We don't want this to happen. So if you look at your hips, they need to be leveled. Now you finished with your warm-up and your timer should be set up to 45 seconds of work and 15 seconds rest. We do 4 exercises 3 times through, starting with squats. So you have that band around your neck and just hold it with your hands and doing a squat against the resistance. If you want to make it harder, you can either get a harder band or you can use the lighter band and do squat and press. I just stuck with the squats for this exercise. So every time you come up, push into your heels, squeeze your glutes and tuck your hips under, but make sure that your lower back stays nice and straight and then you're not bending backwards. You'll do 10 squats and then you will change to seated rows. So sitting on the ground, with your knees slightly bent, or you can have your legs straight if you're very flexible, which I'm not. I have my legs slightly bent around your feet, and then you pull that band by engaging the muscles behind your shoulders or your lats, and then pulling that band towards your hips. Make sure that you have 90 degrees in your elbows and that your elbows don't go behind your body. Stop yourself next to your body and open your chest. That way your shoulders will stay back. If you pull that band too high or if you pull your elbows too much behind your body, that will force your shoulders forward and you will not work the correct muscles. So you really need to feel this exercise burning behind your shoulder blades. You breathe in as you release the band, and you breathe out as you pull the band towards you. Your next exercise is resisted push-up. So you just flip over, have that band underneath your hands. I'm doing the push-up on my knees. And have the band for an extra resistance, which all means you can also do this exercise without the band, or you can lift up and do full push-up on your toes. You breathe in as you lower yourself, breathe out as you push up. Make sure that band is on your back, not on your neck. And have your hands firmly planted to the ground. You can also alternate, like I just did, between toes and knees for some extra resistance. Always try to challenge yourselves, and even if you do just one push-up on your toes, then maybe next time you do two. Once you're done, you then flip around and do a compound crunch using the band. So you have the band around your feet and then behind your back, underneath your armpits. It will slide down a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You fold together and then push against the band and extend your arms. Your goal is to have your lower back firmly planted on the ground the whole time. You do not want to lift your lower back. So your lower back is on the ground and you're just crunching and pushing against the ball. Breathe in as you extend and then breathe out as you crunch. And that's it, and you'll just do this for 3 full rounds.